It's like it's 9:30, and if you would agree, we would hold on for maybe the next. Give ourselves a few minutes, the next 3 minutes to 4 minutes, maximum 9:35. We would kickstart. So, in order not to for others to miss, but once we start, we will keep going. So for those on, we welcome you, and then in a few minutes we would start. Thank you. Once again, and colleagues from the SME. Good morning. So this morning we will keep the discussions very brief. We are.
Good morning, and thank you for the.
Good morning. Good morning. Yes. So this morning, like I said, we're going to keep the discussions very brief. We have our colleagues from Fidelity who will lead the first session for us. It's all about SME financing. We started at 9:30, it's 9:35, so we will not stay on for too long. So we'll give the floor to our colleagues from Fidelity who will take us through, tell us what they have on the table for SMEs, and encourage all SMEs to draw closer to the table and get the necessary tool that we've all been looking out for. So this program is being organized by the West Africa Competitiveness Program, WACOMP, which is financed by the European Union and implemented in Ghana by UNIDO. We're working on 3 main value chains: cosmetics and personal care products, on cassava and its derivatives, and then fruits mainly on mango and pineapples. So colleagues from Fidelity, we thank you for joining us. We give you a warm welcome, and I hand over to you. Thank you.
Good morning once again. Sorry, network is a little shaky, so if I turn on my camera, it would affect the quality of the network. But I'm here with my team from Fidelity. I'll quickly let them introduce themselves, and then from there, we'll just go straight to the agenda for today. So, Dr. Durban, over to you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So my name is William Durban, and I work for Fidelity Bank on their Strategic Partnerships Program. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc.
Hello, Ifya. Over to you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Ifya Adafwa, and I also work at Fidelity Bank on with the Strategic Partnerships Unit. And we are here, obviously, to talk about our Young Entrepreneurs Initiative.
Thank you very much. So I have two other members who are having some issues joining the call. So I believe they will join soon. But I am Frida Mante, and I work with the Strategic Partnership Unit closely with Dr. Durban, if you are my two other members. So as I mentioned earlier, we are here to introduce the Fidelity Young Entrepreneurs Initiative, which, as we can see, our slides are being shared. So I'll quickly go through what the Fidelity Young Entrepreneurs Initiative is about, and I'll go through some of the requirements, which is specially designed to help youth who are in businesses. So as I mentioned earlier, I'll go through the product description, the benefits, the target market, the requirements, as well as the features of the Fidelity Young Entrepreneurs Fund. So basically, the FYEI is a project that was initiated by our board chairman, because he understands the challenges that youth-led businesses go through, and is supposed to provide both financial and non-financial resources to youth-led businesses to enable them survive and thrive. Because we all know that the youth are like the engine or the key people involved in any society. And if you invest in the youth, you're investing in future generations. We all know that now jobs are non-existent, And it's very key that we encourage you to start their own businesses and to grow and develop. So what is Fidelity Bank giving you? We are giving you loans at a very concessionary interest rate. We also provide some sort of business training for you. We are partnering with companies like UNIDO to help you train yourselves in the various business areas that you are involved in. And we also give you very favorable financing terms in line with your business. So we look at the cycle of your business, or what exactly you're going to use the business for, what you're going to use the funds for, and design products or term loans that would help you. So we basically look at three main groups. We look at startups, we look at post-revenue businesses, and we look at female entrepreneurs. We are very keen on supporting female businesses, and we ensure that at least a portion of our fund is dedicated to female entrepreneurs. When we talk about post-revenue businesses, it means that you should be operating for at least 2 years, and you should show some amount of income that is coming through that would allow you to take debt. And then we have our third group, also known as the startups. But to us, a startup is a company that has been operating for at least 6 months. And then you should also have enough money left, let's say, after taking care of all your expenses to cater for debt. For the Fidelity Young Entrepreneurs Fund, because we are very keen on youth-led businesses, we have some age requirements. So you have to be between the ages of 18 years to 40 years to qualify for the Fidelity Young Entrepreneurs Fund. Okay, so I'll quickly run through some of the requirements that we look at when we talk about the getting loans from under the Fidelity Young Entrepreneurs Fund. So firstly, we look at startups, but like I mentioned, you should be operating for at least 6 months, and you should have their ability to take on debt. Why we are very keen on that, you realize that yes, you are operating, but you not be making enough money or income to be able to service monthly loan repayments. So it means that your business should have the capacity to take on debt. Also, you should also be able to meet all the KYC requirements of the bank. So in terms of all your compliance issues, all your regulatory issues, you should be able to meet that. You should be full-time. So we don't want entrepreneurs who are partly in business and partly doing their own things on the side, because it means that you not have enough time to focus on your project and expand. Also, it shouldn't be a subject of speculation. So it means that it shouldn't be something like you're investing in cryptocurrencies, or you're investing in Bitcoin, or something that we are not really sure of. It shouldn't be a sort of speculation. Also, like I mentioned earlier, you should have all the licenses that you need by all the statutory bodies. Also, for the startup business, we'll be very glad if you've gone through some sort of training, so that at least you have some sort of information on how to run your business operation. Also, you do not necessarily have to have an account with Fidelity Bank in order to be part of the Fidelity Young Entrepreneurs Initiative. We started with a pilot last year, and I can say that about 80% of them did not have accounts with them. But once we sign you on to the Fidelity Young Entrepreneurs Initiative, you'll be required to have an account with us and move all your banking proceeds to Fidelity Bank. Now I'll go to the requirements for the post-revenue businesses. It means that you should also be legally registered with at least three years or maximum two years in operation. You should have met all the KYC requirements of the bank. You should be full-time, like I said. It should also be something that is not a It's not a subject of speculation. So you are just trying and see whether it would work. We are also very keen on environmental and social risk issues. So the business should have a positive impact on the environment or social groups. You should be registered, as I said, by all the license, by all the regulatory bodies. And as I mentioned earlier, new to bank customers can apply. So you don't have to necessarily have an account of Fidelity to come on board. And also, if for example, you have a loan with another bank or another institution and you want to qualify under Fidelity Young Entrepreneurs Fund, it's fine. We will take over that loan on the caveats that the loan is doing very well. So it's not a loan that has gone in arrears in another bank that you want to bring on board to us. No, we will not take loans that are in arrears. But if the loan is doing well, and for example, you fall within our requirements under the Fidelity Young Entrepreneurs Initiative, we'll be willing to have you on board. Okay, so like I said, our product is currently grouped into 3 groups. We have the small credits, we have the medium credits, and we have the large. So usually when we are talking about small, we are looking at, okay, I think that's on the next slide, but we are basically looking at amounts between 2,000 Ghana cedis all the way to 60,000 Ghana cedis. And we are looking at the medium, it's from 60,000 Ghana cedis to 200,000 Ghana cedis. So you can take the funding for working capital, for invoice discounting, to finance your equipment, and to upgrade your facility, or also for transportation investments. It's also worth mentioning that if you are taking in any amount that's below 200,000 Ghana cedis, we do not take tangible collateral. So it means that it will be things like joint and several guarantees, a third party guarantee telling you that, okay, I know Frida very well. She has been in this business for like one year. Should Frida decide that she will not pay, Dr. Deban will step in and ensure that I pay. And Doc would have to bring his bank statements to support that. And for the large credits, we are looking at above 200,000 to 1 million Ghana cedis. But with regards to that, we'll require some sort of collateral from you. Next slide, please. I think that will give us even a better insight into what I'm saying. Okay, great. So like I mentioned, for the small credits, it's from 4,000 to 60,000 Ghana cedis. For the medium, it's from 60,000 to 200,000, and for the large, it's above 200,000 to 1 million Ghana cedis. And as I mentioned earlier, if you're taking any amount below 200,000, we will always be taking like third-party guarantees, joint and several guarantees, saying that someone is guaranteeing for you, that the person knows you very well and will ensure that you would pay. Also, we also take an assignment of some of your business assets. So we would also need that. Yes, I think I have said. And then also the moratorium will also be given on a case by case basis. Yes, so in terms of interest rate, I'm sure many of you are curious as to how much we charge. So for the Fidelity Young Entrepreneurs Initiative, as I said, we give an interest rate of 10%, which is the lowest rate offered by any other financial institution. And it's because we know that youth-led businesses struggle with high interest rates, because they are not able to obtain financing to expand their business operations. We'll also charge you a small processing fee of 0.5%. And as I mentioned earlier, even now, the Ghana reference rate is going at about 13.5%. So we are almost 350 basis points below the Ghana reference rate. Yes, So these are okay. So these are
Frida, please unmute yourself.
okay. I didn't know that. Okay. So these are some quick questions that you would want to ask. As I mentioned, is there an age limit? Yes. You have to be between 18 years to 40 years to qualify for the Fidelity Young Entrepreneurs Fund. Usually we know that most entrepreneurs will struggle with collateral. So even though the maximum amount is a million Ghana cedis, it usually goes with the usual collateral requirements that you require from banks. But if you go if you're taking 200,000 Ghana cedis and below, we usually do not take tangible property as collateral, either your third-party guarantees, your joint and several guarantees, as well as an assignment over your business operating assets. You can take the money for working capital injection, to purchase new equipment, or to upgrade your facility. What is the maximum loan? So because we want to impact more entrepreneurs, the maximum loan amount that we are looking at now is about 200,000, unless the entrepreneur has collateral to support. And the tenor will go up to is 36 months. Yes, there's a fee of 0.5%, and there might be some legal fees depending on what exactly you are assigning to us. But usually for most of the ones we've done, we do not have that. It's collateral required. I've already mentioned that below 200,000, we do not take tangible property as collateral. Can you borrow in foreign currency? No, please. We only give loans in Ghana cedis. How is the repayment structured? So we look at your business operating cycle and look at how best we can structure the loan to suit you. Can borrowers with existing facilities apply? Oh, yes, you can. But we have to ensure that if you have an existing loan, we would have to ensure that you can take care of the monthly repayments of both the new loan that you are taking, as well as the old loan which you have. Can loans from other banks be refinanced? Yes, so far as they are doing very well. Like, we will not take a loan which you've even gone in 1 month in arrears from another bank. So you have to be performing very well with that bank. Thank you very much. And you can ask questions if you require any clarification.
Thank you very much, Frida, for such comprehensive presentation. So I don't have any questions in the chat box now, but may I ask if you have any question for Frida, may kindly unmute yourself and then ask your question. If your network is bad, you can also type your question into the chat box. I'll read it out. Thank you very much. Yes, we're still waiting for your questions. If there is any question, any point of clarification from Frida you want to address, she's already the team from Fidelity.
Hello.
Yes, Rexford, please go ahead.
Yes, I want to know what's the tenor for the facilities, the minimum or the maximum tenor for the facilities. If it's 200,000 or 1 million, how many years are you supposed to pay back?
Okay, so sorry, please, are you done with your question?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so the minimum term from
Go ahead. Oh, please go ahead, Frida. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So the minimum tenor from between 4,000 to 200,000 is 36 months. But if you are going from 200,000 to 1 million Ghana cedis, we can go up to 60 months. But like I mentioned, the collateral requirements are very high when you go about 200,000 to 1 million Ghana cedis. But if you go below the 200,000 Ghana cedis, the collateral requirements are minimum, like just a third-party guarantee, a joint and several guarantee, people vouching to ensure you are really, Rexford is really in the business. He's been making income and he would pay if things don't go on as expected.
All right, thank you. I see Faustina's hand. Faustina, please go ahead. Unmute yourself and. Okay, whilst Faustina is unmuting herself, Frida, I have this question from the chat box. Does Fidelity offer any value-added services? E.g., example, like financial planning for SMEs looking to take out the loan?
Yes, please. So at the moment is one of the reasons why we are in partnership with UNIDO to help us and build the capacity of the entrepreneurs. But once we've given you these loans, we just do not leave you. We work closely with a capacity building partner, and they would ensure that you are able to put your monthly reports together, do your cash flow projections, put your monthly sales to ensure that your business is still viable. So they would work closely with you. So as it stands now, Fidelity would help you. You get the loan, but we'll come on the site visit with our capacity building partner, and they will hold you throughout the whole process to ensure that you are able to plan your finances well. And if there are any other issues that you think that the bank can assist you with, they'll draw attention to it. Okay, I can see some questions in the chat box.
Okay, so then how long, I think this one you answered, how long must someone have been a customer? I think you said you don't have to, but you can answer it yourself. They should hear you talk yourself.
Yes, please. So like new to bank customers can apply for the Fidelity Young Entrepreneurs Fund. And as I mentioned, per the pilot we had over 80% of the clients who came on board. They have never banked with Fidelity before. But through this initiative we have, they came on board to bank with us. So yes, new to bank customers, or people who do not have accounts are willing to come on board.
Okay. And the other question is this only for beneficiaries of UNIDO program? Please no, it's not only for us. I mean, Fidelity is running for everybody, any SME, anywhere who is interested, who approaches them. And we have also approached them. We're only partnering with them so that we can also bring on board as many SMEs that we know that they might also not be aware of them. That's why we're organizing this program together. So it's open for all. It's a competitive process. So it's not only for the UNIDO WACOMP program. So that one I can answer. So yes, if there's any other question for clarification, any point of interest, please unmute yourself or type in the chat box. Frida has done justice to the set of questions and she's still ready to take on the rest.
Okay, hi.
Hello.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. I wish I could reduce my age. Anyway, I am above 40 and I'm also interested, so, and a female as well. So is there a package that such that the interest rate can be very, very minimal for some of us who are above the 40 to also go in for the loan facility? Thank you.
Thank you, Faustina. Frida, before you answer, I think there's already another question in the chat box in line with Frida's question. Those of us above 40, what do you have for us? So please, Frida, we are in your care.
Thank you very much. I think this has been a very it's always a very difficult question that we usually get when we go and engage people. But we want to target the and we know in Ghana, people who are even above 40 think they are also youth, but ideally, a youth is between 18 years to 35 years, and that's strict, but we decided to increase it to 40 years so that at least it covers people. We have, it doesn't mean that if you are above 40 years, the bank does not have other commercial products. Yes, we have a whole lot of commercial products that can also meet your needs. The only challenge is you will not be able to benefit from the 10% interest rate. You would have to, we can have our commercial banking team structure something for you, which maybe might not be skyrocket, might not be very high, but you will not be able to benefit from the 10% interest rate because the program is targeted at youth-led businesses. Unless you would realize that immediately we open the cap to everyone can apply. The rationale behind that supporting youth-led business will be lost because we have a lot of people who are above 40 who would want to come in for the loan because of the concessionary interest rate. But the purpose is to encourage young people who are starting their own businesses or who have started their own business and they're in operation for about two years and need a little boost in order to move their business to another level. So because we want it to fit with these young people is the main reason why we are very keen on the age requirements. So unfortunately, yes, you can drop your contact. I can introduce you to our commercial banking unit. They'll look at other products that they can give to help you. But if I would be very upfront, you will not get the 10% interest rates, but they would look at other products that can best suit you.
Thank you very much, Frida. So that's up. So we're still on. Any point of interest, any point of clarification, Frida is here as we are about wrapping up. So please let your question to Fidelity flow. Okay, so Frida, an interesting one. If you can give a range, somebody wants to, before even they drop their contacts, what is the possible range for the above 40 people? How much are you going to, what should they expect?
Okay, so it usually depends on the risk. So for example, usually peg interest rates at the Ghana reference rate, which is currently at about 13.5% plus a margin, depending on the level of risk. So it can be from, they can even add a margin of 5 all the way to a margin of 8, depending on the level of risk. So it'll be very difficult for me to stand on the platform and say, okay, it will be, let's say 16% or 18%, but I can give you that usually they peg it at the Ghana reference rate, which is the rate at which banks, the Bank of Ghana lends to all commercial banks plus a margin. So looking at the level of risk or the type of business that you are in, or based on the assessments that is done, they would give you a rate. So I would just, I can't say that maybe it's a 10 or I can't say it's a 20 or a 13 or a 14 or a 15, but usually they'll add a margin to it, which can be from 5 all the way to 8. So that means you can be looking at something between 20%, 22%, 18% in that range. But I'll be making a mistake if I tell you it's 18. No, it depends on the level of risk.
Right. Thank you very much, Frida. So it depends on the level of risk. So another good question, how can you be contacted after this program?
Okay, so I would drop my contact in the chat box. My other team members would also do that. I mean, if you would, then you can always reach out to us if you require clarification.
That's perfect. So please drop your, Frida will drop her contact and the contact of her team members. They will all be typing in the chat box. And for those of us also on the call, would also ask that you drop your details, your name, the name of the SME, your email or your phone number. We'll also contact you after. We tried to get a registration, but I think some also didn't register. So that would have made it easier. So just drop your names and then we can follow up. But the program has not ended. So this morning, because we are in a competitive world, we're having this session with 3 financial institutions. So Fidelity would give us their wrapping words, and then after that, we'll also continue with our colleagues from ABSA. So Frida, Mante, and Dr. Durban, and then I don't know if there's any ways to wrap up to tell us, then we can continue with our other colleagues. Thank you very much. Your concluding remarks.
Okay, I would hand over to Dr. Durban.
Okay, thank you very much, Charles. This has been a really great session, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to come and share our products. All I'll say is I'll encourage people to apply. Those who qualify to apply. We are trying to get and pull people who are uniquely placed, to set up and run scalable businesses in the country. And we know that you have a lot of you are in that sort of bracket. So apply, share it with your friends and those that in business that you think will qualify, so that we can build a better Ghana. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doc. Frida, may I please ask that you stop sharing at this point? And then even though your network was weak, we will then ask you that, and for those of us on the call, kindly, for a brief moment, just turn on your cameras if you wouldn't mind. We want to have a virtual group picture because I know some may drop off at this point. For our publicity purposes, to let the world know the good things our colleagues from Fidelity, from ABSA, and the rest are all doing. So thank you very much. I see colleagues turning on their cameras. Thank you. Our communication person would send, and you can also follow us on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, everywhere. And then you get to know the good things that we're doing as WACOMP. And so those SMEs who are here, Kwame, and then the cluster experts, Joseph, Na, Frank, we will all be working with you to help you put your documents together, preparing you so that those under 40 can take advantage of the facility available at Fidelity, and then the other products that we're going to hear about. Yes, so thank you very much. Thank you all for turning on your cameras. Thank you for the smiles. We're grateful to Frida and her team from Fidelity. Thank you for such concise and precise presentation. We look forward to hearing from you as you stay on, and then we'll be connecting with you as well. At this point, in order to keep it brief and then snappy, we move on to our colleagues from ABSA. So I hand over to Audrey. Audrey and her team from ABSA, please, you have the floor. You can share your presentation and then we can move on. Thank you very much. So those of us with weak networks, I mean, after this picture, you can also turn off your camera so you can save enough bandwidth to listen to the messages from ABSA. Thank you.
Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, Audrey.
Yes, my system went off briefly. I don't know whether you've already introduced me and invited me to start speaking.
I have invited you, but I haven't introduced.
Okay, thank you very much. And good morning, Charles, and good morning, everyone on this call. It's an exciting moment for me to, come and share with you some of the financial options that we have in ABSA. So at ABSA, we are a very forward-looking bank, with an African heartbeat. And African heartbeat because we operate and function within the African continent, and we believe in the African continent, and we are very passionate and passionate to support African businesses to grow. So we have over the years supported thousands of SMEs, across the country, and not only. So during the COVID season, while the whole world was confused, AFSA was thinking about you. AFSA was designing, new proposals in the country, and we launched 2 great propositions. We launched our Emerge proposition, which focuses on women and how to support them to financially integrate into the financial system. And then also we launched our startup, and above all, we signed a contract with Mastercard Foundation so that we can support 5,000 SMEs within the next 5 years. And I will talk about that, later on in my presentation. So I want to go straight to the whole conversation, which focuses on funding or financial options for SMEs in this country. So I'm going to talk about 4 key options, which I believe would be of great interest to you. The first one is our business solution loans. It's a very easy to access loans. A couple of years back, it was tough, or it was difficult to support SMEs because of our credit framework and then the requirements that we used to, ask from SMEs. But having, consistently interacted with our clients' network, we got the feedback that customers were struggling with providing securities to support the funds that they borrow from us. And then also, when it comes to proper record keeping, we all knew that most SMEs had challenges in that area, and therefore asking them to provide 3 years audited account to access 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, or even 100,000 was a challenge. So what did the bank do? We had to embrace the risk of not asking for 3 years audited account, and then also embrace the risk of not asking for security. So this type of loan that I'm referring to, that is the business solution loan, offers SMEs up to 500,000 Ghana cedis without collateral and also without 3 years audited financials, which most banks would require that you submit. If you are not able to bring landed security, some of them would ask you to bring your car or your debenture and all that. For us, we don't ask for any of that. What we look out for is a consistent account performance, and based on that, we take a decision on how much we can lend to you. So quickly, let me share with you some of the features of this particular product. So like I have indicated, you have up to 500,000. Any amount beyond 500,000, you would have to provide security to secure that amount. And you can take as low as 20,000, depending on your financial capacity. You can take it for up to between 3 months and then 24 months. And then also, when it comes to how to apply, we have made it very, very easy. You have to, all our business customers have been assigned to relationship managers. So if you want any facility from us, if you want to enjoy this local business solution, you put it into writing on your business letterhead, send it to your relationship manager, indicate the purpose of the request, and then also how much you require, and then the duration you require for this facility. Now, couple of things that you need to note, if you want to enjoy this particular facility. Number one, you should have registered your business and operated for 3 years or more. Number two, as you operate your account, there shouldn't be a month where we see a zero returns, because we believe that as a business, at least having operated for some time, month on month, at least something should come throughout from your sales proceeds. So what we encourage our customers to do is that on day, whatever you sell, you can channel it through Momo into your account so that our system will keep records of your daily turnovers, your weekly turnovers, and your monthly turnovers, because we base our judgment on these turnovers to determine how much credit we can advance to you. So when you record a zero turnover within a particular month, in a space of 6 months, it will be difficult for us to look at your request. And most often, some of the practices that the SMEs do is that they operate with cash and they don't send their funds to the bank. It's a bad business practice because it deprives you of the support that you can get from a bank. And then also, when it comes to return checks, it's a very serious thing. Regulator consistently audit banks and also monitor the activities of banks regarding return checks. So we don't encourage customers to issue that checks. In the event where you issue that checks for two consecutive times, it can impact the decision that we make on your credit request. So there shouldn't be two or more items or checks returned on your account within the last 6 months. And then also, there shouldn't be an adverse findings on your credit counterparty. Bank of Ghana has a platform, the Credit Reference Bureau system. Any customer, any business entity that borrows from a bank and default, it immediately populates on that platform. And the regulator says that before you lend to any business entity, go onto that platform and check their credit worthiness. So we leverage that to determine whether you are credit worthy or not. And in the event where there is an adverse finding about you on that platform, it's very difficult for us to support you. Now, what is the interest rate for this unsecured loan? Anywhere I have stood to speak about it, I have been quizzed on the interest rate, but I just want customers to look at it from this point. I heard the Fidelity lady talking, and she said that, we base our judgment based on the GRR. That is the level at which we begin to add on our margin. And whatever margin we add on largely depends on the risk. Now, if you look at this particular loan, you notice that the risk level is very, very huge. We have embraced that risk. So obviously it impacts the kind of interest we charge for that. So currently the interest rate is 28% for all our unsecured facility. That is the SME Business Solution loan. If you want anything lower than that, then you will have to bring security to secure the facility that you are asking for. Because once you bring security, it determines how further down.
Audrey, we are losing you.
And we can go as low as 20%. So it's, can you hear me? I'll put on the video. Can you hear me?
We lost you a bit. In the last 30 seconds, we lost you.
Hello, Charles.
Yes, now you are clear. Please continue.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear now. Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay, great. I don't know where you heard me, my final statement, but for women who are listening to me, because we are encouraging women to borrow, most women don't like borrowing for many reasons. Because of time, I can't go into that. But if questions come up, I will address that. Now, we want to encourage financial inclusion to bring in more women into the financial system to leverage their support and the benefits within to grow and scale their business. So for that reason, what ABSA has done is to reduce the unsecured lending interest rate by 300 basis points. So women who borrow under the unsecured facility borrow at 25%, but the general interest rate is 28%. Let me move on to the next facility that will be of interest for you. So we have what we call the Enterprise and Supply Chain Development Financing. Now, Ghana government has been promoting local content where blue chip companies are encouraged to work or to offer contracts to SMEs within the country. So in the event where an SME successfully bid for a contract with a blue chip company, you don't need to worry about how you're going to deliver that contract if you don't have the money. Now, when you bring that contract to ABSA, we will study the contract carefully. And if the contract aligns with our framework, we would fund the contract amount up to 80%. And then you fund the 20%. You fund the 20% because we want you to make some level of commitment. And we believe that once you make that level of commitment, you will pay particular attention to delivering the contract to expectations so that your money will be paid. Now, when your money is paid, all we ask from the blue chip company is to send that money into your account with ABSA. So one key requirement is for you to get that blue chip company to give us what we call assignment of deliverables. It's a formal communication to ABSA that says that company B has been awarded this contract to the sum of so and so, and we as an organization are committed to paying the proceeds, of the contract after it is delivered. Once we get that letter from the blue chip company, we would go ahead to process your facility, fund it, and then when the money comes, it comes to pay off the facility. So this kind of facility also does not require collateral from you. We don't take any collateral because the contract itself serves as some level of guarantee, and it gives us the comfort that if this company that is trusted gave you that contract, then there is the likelihood that if you perform. So the performance bit is a risk to us, but we trust our clients that no business would just struggle and suffer to get such a contract and then not deliver and get the money. Though sometimes we see the flip side as well. So what are the requirements? The 3 years in operation applies. And then also we would require 1 year bank statement. If you don't have an account with Barclays, ABSA, we would ask you to bring 1 year bank statement from your previous banker so that we can analyze how you have performed with that bank. And then the assignment of receivable letter that I mentioned is very, very critical for this. And then also confirmation letter from third party, that is the company. And then your request letter, completion of corporate questionnaire. We have a corporate questionnaire that we would give you so that you can complete. And then also your purchase order, the invoices, and then 3 years 3 years past copies. That is 3 years. You should have demonstrated that you have performed such contracts before and you have been successful. So at least we'll ask you for 3 years project that you have performed, and we will also use that to determine how much we give you. And then we have what we call our commercial assets finance. So this one is for customers that want to buy vehicles, trucks, vans, machines. So this is purposely for that. So if you are in that category, you also don't need collateral to come and access this finance. All you need is that you approach us with your request. We look at your request, and then once you meet some of the criteria that I have mentioned, you must be 3 years in business, registered. You must come with your formal letter applying for this facility. For this particular one, we require cash flow projections. So if you are listening to me and then you haven't been paying attention to cash flow projection, you need to do that if you want to access such a credit. This one also, we fund it up to 80%, and then you fund the 20%. We would require your pro forma invoice from the supplier that is delivering the machines or the vehicle, and then at least 1 year bank statement if you don't have an account with ABSA. The payment options are very flexible. You can be paying on monthly basis, quarterly, and then semi-annually. The minimum tenor is 6 months. The maximum is 60 months. And then the assets must be registered in the name of the bank. So whatever we use our funds to purchase for you, for the period that you would be using the facility, you'll be paying the loan, it will be registered in our name until it is fully paid for. So once it is fully paid for, we do a release, we go through a release process and then release the assets to you. We also have our long-term facility for projects. For those of you who need project funding, we also do that. Project funding has a tenor of 3 years, a minimum tenor of 3 years, a maximum of 12 years. The repayment structure is such that it is structured around the customer's trading cycle. The same requirements applies, but for long-term facility, usually the ticket size are large. And it's also, the tenor is also extended. So we require your 3 years audited accounts. And then also you need to secure this type of loans. That is why I initially talked about the loans that you don't need collateral, because I know that that is one of the challenges that the SMEs face. Now, I just want to quickly touch on the Mastercard Foundation program, because it's a very good program, and I encourage every SME listening to me to take advantage of it immediately. The program is skewed towards women entrepreneurs and then agri businesses. And I know that UNIDO, most of your clientele are women and also agri businesses. So as a business, our commitment to the entire economy, we want to play a shaping role in society. And our aim is to support SMEs to build a sustainable, resilient, and intergenerational businesses. So for us to be successful at that, we admit that we can't do this alone. So we try to strategically partner with institutions. And last year, we successfully partnered with Mastercard Foundation, and we signed that contract around October 2020, under their Young African Works project. And the project is running for 5 years. We've already done 1 year cycle. So we have 4 more years to conclude on that project. So under the project, we are to finance 5,000 SMEs between $10,000 to between $5,000 to $300,000 under the project. And then also interest rates under this project has been reduced to 25%. And any amount up to 500,000 is without collateral. Any amount beyond 500,000, obviously, we would require a collateral to secure that. Now, beyond the financial support, we are also offering technical competency or capacity building opportunities for SMEs, because most SMEs think that it's money they need, but sometimes when you delve deeper into their business operations, you realize that they need more than money. So that more than money they need, we have gone ahead to identify that, and we want to provide support in that area. So we have recruited 5 top consultants in this country, and we are aligning SMEs to these consultants to handhold them, to help them properly structure. So when they get into their setup, they do what we call business diagnosis. And when they identify any gap in terms of business practices that may not help you to grow or scale, they would come back to us, they will structure their training or intervention, and then they will roll it out at the cost under the project. So it comes at a free cost. You don't pay a dime to go through that process. That is why I encourage every SME hearing me to take advantage of this, because if you have to go and hire the services of a consultant, you pay. And sometimes you pay at a high cost, but the bank and Mastercard Foundation are footing this cost. And I don't see why you should miss this opportunity. As I speak, Empretech is running an on-tag program for a number of the SMEs for free. We started this last 2 months. We have trained 170 SMEs. And I can say on authority that SMEs that have gone through the Empretech development program, certified by ONTAG, these SMEs are still standing. These SMEs have moved from small to medium, and they are doing very well. They are resilient businesses, and they continue to grow because they have learned the best business practices. They have applied it, and they continue to apply into their business operations, and they are doing well. So connect with ABSA. Let ABSA be a financial partner. We are not just going to support you financially, but we are also going to help you build the right capabilities, help you strengthen your business acumen and commercial awareness so that you can run your business in a manner that will be generational. So gone are the days when SMEs revolves around an individual. We have to move away from that and begin to run businesses that outlive us as individuals. And these are some of the things that we teach in our program. So on this note, I will bring my presentation to a closure, and I will pause for questions and then answers. Thank you so much, Charles and team.
Thank you very much, Audrey, for such a comprehensive presentation. I really enjoyed listening to you. So now the questions should flow. So Audrey, the first question, I think you answered it in your presentation, but let me read it out so quickly you can re-echo it. So what provisions has ABSA in place for businesses that have been in operation for less than 3 years?
Okay, so thank you very much for that question. We have our startup proposition. Okay, so I said that within 2020, we launched 2 propositions. The startup was one of them. And the startup are businesses that are below 3 years, okay, if we have to consider it that way. And for these customers, we don't lend to them immediately. Our focus is on building their capacity, because we need to bring you to a point where you have to be investment ready. Most of these startups are not investment ready, and therefore, if they should go to a bank to borrow, it may be detrimental to them. And I usually tell them whenever I mount a platform and I speak to startups, because most of them at a very lower level in terms of business operations, they don't have the strength, they don't have the resilience, they don't have the capacity, and most of them too are not involved in any formal business practices for it to sustain the funds that you are getting from the bank. Because once the bank gives you money, you have to pay. We have a whole collection department that will come after you if you in the event where you default. So for our startups, we offer them free banking. We understand that you are very price sensitive, so the account we open for you, you don't pay any COT. We also provide you free transactional digital channels so that you can save money instead of moving from to and fro a bank's branch. You can do all your financial transactions online. And then when you undertake any local transfers, we give it to you for free. We also have a mentorship program where we align you with seasoned, experienced, and resilient business owners who would walk you through a journey and then transfer experiential knowledge to you. And then we also put them on our Mastercard Foundation program so that they can benefit from the consultancy and the training programs that we are running for our businesses. So for those customers, until you are 3 years, unfortunately, we do not introduce you to borrowing.
Thank you. Okay, so in terms of shareholding level, somebody wants to know if you must be a woman. If you're a woman, how should the shareholding be before you can access the facility under the ABSA Mastercard program?
Okay, so it's 100% shareholding or 50% shareholding?
Okay, 100% or 50%?
Yes.
Okay, so then another question is, how can the business enroll for the BDS under the Mastercard program?
Okay, so what I would suggest is that after this training or this session, please, they should get me the list of all those that are interested. The team would immediately contact them, and then we'll begin the process from there.
Super. That sends a reminder. Please, I ask that you kindly put your names in the chat box, your name, the name of your SME and your contact number, so that we are compiling the list so we can follow up with you. Okay. Another one, Audrey, is what are the requirements for opening an account at ABSA? I'm giving you customers, you see, Audrey.
Is Thomas Lamptey on the call? I asked one of my RM to join me. I wanted us to hear from him. If he's not on the call, I will just respond to that. Now, I think he's not here. Yeah, Thomas.
Thomas is on the call.
Yeah, Thomas, I want your voice to be heard as well. I don't want to take all the questions. So kindly share with them the requirements to open a business account with ABSA Bank.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Thank you very much for the question. Okay, so we have 2 types of business accounts we open at SME, at ABSA Bank. We have the sole proprietorship and then the limited liability companies. So for the sole proprietor, the requirements are as follows. We will need the certificates of registration, the Form A, your 2 passport pictures, your ID card, and then address confirmation. Anything to confirm your physical address, be it electricity bill, water bill, tenancy agreement, anything that has your physical location on it. So these are the requirements for the sole proprietorship. Now, for the limited liability company, we would require the following. We will need the certificate to commence business, the certificate of registration. We will need the Form 3. We will need the company's regulations. We will need a board resolution letter from your company asking us to open an account for you. And then we will need address confirmation, something to confirm the physical address of all the signatories and shareholders. We need 2 passport pictures for all signatories and shareholders, and then IDs for all directors, shareholders, and signatories. These are the requirements for limited liability companies.
All right, thank you. And then before we continue, let me also inform all members on this call, especially with our colleagues from the financial institutions, who are compiling the list. After this list, I think for the members, we'll have separate session with those, with all the expressed interest, so that we can have a session, a working session with the teams individually. So we're compiling the list, we're getting different interests, and then we'll have that session where we would now delve in deeper with each financial institution based on the requirements as SMEs will require. So there's an interesting one here that I would have to take. Maybe that would be the last or not the very last for ABSA. So Audrey, there's a question that you may have to help us. So somebody says, what does 28% interest literally mean? Yeah, I mean, saying if he borrows 10,000, what do you expect him to pay per month? And is this amount fixed throughout the tenor?
Okay, Thomas, can you do the calculation quickly if you are sitting behind your PC? You know, I'm not behind my PC currently. If you can, Thomas can quickly give.
Yes,
what he's going to share may not. It's just going to give you a view, okay, of how much you like.
Super.
Okay, great. Thomas, please take it.
Yes, please. So for a loan of, let's say, 10,000 cedis for a period of 12 months, monthly repayment will be 967 cedis 0.25.
Oh, okay.
On a monthly basis, and it is amortized fixed. So that is the same amount of money you'll be paying throughout the life of the loan.
Okay. Whilst we are about to end, please look on your screens. I'm launching a short poll for us to know who is here and what is happening. That will also help our colleagues from the financial institution. So kindly, it's just 4 questions. Just tick the answer for us, and then we'll go on. It takes just under 5 seconds to do this for us. So you have the floor. If you can see it on your screen, kindly go ahead. So first, we want to know which value chains you belong to, whether cosmetics, fruits, cassava, whether you have an existing loan, is your business female-owned or male-owned, and whether this webinar is meeting your expectation. Thank you. So please, everybody on the call, let's find a way to get this done. It helps us, it gives us an overview of what is happening. So Audrey, whilst colleagues and SME partners are answering, you can give us your closing remarks from ABSA.
Okay, Charles, thank you very much. And once again, I must say that I'm grateful to you for granting us the access to your client network base. So like I initially said, ABSA is an SME-friendly bank. If we have won awards for 3 consecutive years, it should tell everyone listening to me that indeed we are playing a shaping role in the Ghanaian economy. So we are the right bankers to partner with if you are an SME, because we have done this for many years. And as I speak, there are lots of SMEs that are in my pipeline that I'm looking to support. So we are happy to partner you to grow and scale your business. So I'm looking forward to the list that will be shared from UNIDO, and our team would reach out to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We have less than 40%. So kindly, I just want to have an overview. We have over 60 people, just about a quarter. 1/3 have answered the question. So kindly do that for us. Give us an idea what you do and what is happening in your space, and then we can move on. Thank you very much. So the next to kickstart this process is our colleagues from Bank of Africa. That will be the last session. And as I indicated, this is not going to be the end of this session. I mean, for me, it's been very educative with the two banks for ABSA and Fidelity. So we'll listen to our colleagues and then we'll move on. Before that, I see a hand from Hida Nelson. So please, Nelson, kindly unmute and then you drop your question.
Okay, thank you very, very much. On the polls, I only see 3 options and I don't fall into any. I'm into textile and garments, and I'm wondering if I'm on the wrong platform.
No, you're not on the wrong platform. Sorry, I should have indicated others. So sorry. For us as WACOMP, our interest is these 3, but we bring in everybody on board. So please forgive me.
Okay, thank you. But it looks like if I don't choose anything there, it doesn't activate the submit button.
It doesn't matter.
So can I just choose anything? It doesn't matter. Okay, yes, thank you.
It doesn't. Welcome. Okay, so I think at this point, I would end it and then we can see the results. So I give myself the next 5 seconds and I'll end it. So please, you can ignore the first. If you can't fall into any of them, you still go ahead and answer, and then we can close the session now.
Please, can we have Audrey's contact? Thank you.
Yes, please. Yes, please. We need your contacts. So put your contacts in the chat. We would package all the contacts and deliver it to Audrey, to Frida, and to our colleagues who are also coming on board. Yes, I see the names coming up. So type your name, your email address, and then your phone number, and then we are good to go. Okay. Thank you. Yes, on the Zoom in the chat box. So this is what we have. The results is impressive. Okay, so existing loan. So you see that you have fertile grounds for the financial institutions to operate. You have quite a number, about 90% who answered do not have loans, so they are ready, they are looking out. We have 62% female owned, so our sisters, our mothers, our wives are doing something brilliant. They need support. And then 66% saying yes, it meets their expectation, partially 31, and then no 3%, that's 1. So it will be interesting to tell us what is not meeting those partially and no, so that we can address it in our next webinar. Thank you very much. Felicia, please, you have the floor to drop your question and then we can move on.
Yes, good morning, Audrey. Good morning, Audrey.
Good morning, Felicia. Please go ahead. I think she's
good morning, Felicia. Good morning.
It's been ages. I'm waiting for the bank to get in touch.
Okay, definitely. Let's get a list and I will contact you myself.
Thank you, Audrey.
Welcome.
Bye-bye.
Felicia. Bye-bye.
Is this Felicia Chumesi?
Yes, sir.
Oh, all right. Nice meeting you and nice having you here.
Nice meeting you, Joseph.
Okay, so thank you very much. We now take the last session from our colleagues from Bank of Africa. So please, the colleague from Bank of Africa, you have the floor.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning, Alex.
Charles, thank you so much for the opportunity for giving to us Bank of Africa to also share with your network what we can do to support ourselves to make sure that we're able to grow our economy and business together. Let me quickly share my presentation slides here. Okay. Okay.
But it's not in slide mode, so if you can put it in slide, perfect. Perfect.
It is now.
It is now. It is now.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so Alex, so you introduce yourself again and then you start. And then whilst Alex is at it, please, if you have questions, you can kindly type your questions and your names. Let me keep reminding you, put your names into the chat box. And if you have any questions, kindly do so as well. So Alex, please go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, Charles, thank you so much. My name is Alex Ejiamponsa. I'm the head of retail for Bank of Africa. Head of retail, actually I'm responsible for all the branch network in the country. We have 25 currently, and we provide support for our customers in the locations that we are, and even in places that we are not, using digital platforms to make sure that we are able to get them to meet the set ambition for themselves and for their businesses. So I will go in and here with one of my regional managers, Abu Hanan. Abu Hanan is a regional manager for part of Accra, and he will be here with us through the presentation. So as indicated, I'm not too sure this is something that we need most, but just a little background about Bank of Africa. We have presence in most of our neighboring Francophone countries. We are in Benin, Burkina Faso, we are in Ivory Coast, Mali, we are in Benin, we are in Togo, we are in Ivory Coast. So this presents opportunity for us that as I go along, I will try to expatiate why these networks are very important for us. In Ghana, we have 25 branches currently located in the 6 of our geopolitical regions. We are in Upper East, Upper West. We are in Tamale. We are in Takoradi, Kumasi, and most of our branches are located in Accra. Why SME? Why the support for SME? We believe that SME is play a very crucial role in the development. Sorry, am I the only one who can hear myself, or somebody is talking in addition?
No, please go ahead. I think somebody came in, but we mute
okay,
them.
That's fine.
Go ahead.
Okay. SME present an opportunity for the economy and plays very crucial role in terms of employment, in terms of revenue generation, and in terms of also contributing to the GDP of the country as a whole. But we know that that is the area that we need to support most, because it is only when you support the SMEs that you are supporting the indigenous Ghanaian businesses, and you are providing the support for them to also make sure that whatever we're able to generate also stays here. So it's Bank of Africa, that is one of our beliefs, and that is the reason why we place much emphasis on our SME portfolio. Our analysis have shown that SMEs have all kinds of issues. And therefore, for you to be able to provide the needed support for them, you need to understand the situation and see what you can do to support SMEs. One of the key things that we have realized is poor record keeping. And sometimes we must get it right. In some businesses, in some situations, people are not able to separate the operations of the business itself from their own personal activities. Pay school fees from the business account, pay hospital bills from students from the business account, and that's everything from the business account. If there are donations, funeral expenses, and other things, it's the business that suffers. We are not able to separate the business itself from our own personal activities. And therefore, sometimes estimating even the capital that the business actually is running with, sometimes it's extremely difficult. So we believe recording sales activities, recording expenses, sometimes are non-existent. And therefore, sometimes you meet businesses that when you are in discussion with them, the customers are not able to tell you, operators are not able to tell you either the business is profitable or not. This is one of the very critical things that is affecting our ability to take credit decisions on SMEs. Poor management structure and succession plans is also one of the things. Sometimes If the main person is not there, everything comes to a standstill. Business is not able to operate just because we are waiting for madam or master to come before we are able to take decisions. What can we do to support in such a way that we can put proper management structure in place, succession plan in such a way that the business will live beyond a particular generation that actually started it? And lack of normally appropriate securities to support the credit needs of the business. Opportunities come, and like we say, entrepreneurs dream, and when they dream, they need banks like us to provide the needed support for them to be able to achieve the dreams that they have. But sometimes the dream requires that they also need to have their skin in the game, and most often that is a problem. We are living in a situation that sometimes people have the property, they are ready to put it up, but they don't have any document at all to prove that the property belongs to them, or anything at all to show that they have a security that they can give to you as a bank to transfer the title. And then one of the key areas that I believe, I'm sure all of you will agree, is advisory services. Sometimes we wake up, decisions are taken in the bedroom, we come and we implement them. If you don't get the right advisory services, sometimes we take very expensive decisions that in actual fact, there could have been a better way of resolving it. So in Bank of Africa, we have come up with products and services that we believe that help us to resolve these issues. So we have what we call SME support facility. The SME support facility comes in the form of a loan or overdraft. That is basically for 6 months. Most often we are able to look at it after the 6 months and renew it for you almost automatically once you're able to meet the turnover covenant that we put in there. And largely, it's based on the turnover the activity do. And when we say turnover here, we are talking about real turnover, not a customer who deposits money in the account in the morning, in the afternoon he withdraws, and in the evening he brings it back, as if he's doing something with you, and basically clearly running at the turnover just for them to be able to assess. We assess properly the activity that you are doing to make sure that it's the real turnover that we are talking about. And we are able to do that to support. We use that. We look at your structure that you are running, the kind of product that you are handling, the kind of activities that you find yourself in. We look at the cyclical nature, the seasonality of your business, and all these things comes into it in taking a decision. And currently we have over 4,000 customers that are benefiting from this particular product. We give up to 150,000 Ghana cedis unsecured. Basically, there's no security for this facility, and we provide the support for them. Now, what we do here is that the minimum amount that we look at for is 20,000 Ghana cedis, and we can take, as I indicated, we can take as high as 150,000 Ghana cedis. And all that we need you to provide for us is we sit down with you, we look at your stock, we look at what you are doing, we look at raw materials that you have, we look at activities that you find yourself in, and all these things. We have a structured questionnaire that we put to you, and then as we engage you in the conversation, we'll be able to complete that and get all the information that we need. Now, you should have been in the business for a minimum of 12 months, and we take into account your last 6 months, your last 1 year turnover to determine how much we can give to you. At any point in time, the maximum amount that we give to you will not exceed 70% of your average monthly turnover. And average monthly turnover, basically what we do is that we look at all your turnover on a monthly basis, take out any outliers. And when I talk of outliers, I'm talking about in a situation that you see that every month the customer is doing an average monthly turnover of say 50,000 Ghana cedis, and suddenly 1 million come and pass it through the account. We need to know where the 1 million Ghana cedis came from. If it's a work that you have done that somebody has paid you, we need to know. We should be able to identify that one and see what support that we can give to you without taking into account that particular 1 million, or taking into account that 1 million. You should have been in a business, like I indicated, for a minimum of 2 years and have a proven track record that that's what you are doing and the business is profitable. Then we can also take a decision. On interest rate, I believe that it will be something that everybody will be interested, because we lend at a cost. We lend at Ghana reference rate, and that is the reference rate Bank of Ghana expect all financial institutions to make it as a base in taking a credit decision. We lend at Ghana reference rate plus a margin of between 8 and 10. So if I pick 8, then it means that currently we are talking about 21.5 thereabout, and if I pick 10, I'm talking about 22.5 thereabout as an interest rate, and that means that even though the facility for 6 months, but the interest rate is annual. So if you want to actually break it down to a situation that then it's about half of that that will apply to you. But if you take it as an overdraft, the overdraft interest rate is calculated on the daily outstanding balance. But if you take it as a loan, it is spread over the whole period for you, and then you pay on a monthly basis. Let me move on to other products that we also have, and we have asset financing facilities that we provide, and that comes back to provide the needed support for SMEs to be able to expand and to grow businesses. There comes a time that you could be in a manufacturing, light manufacturing business that you need to import, or you need to buy some machinery or equipment to be able to meet the demand of your production. We provide support for you. And there, and if you need a vehicle sometimes to support your transportation arrangement in terms of delivery, in terms of moving goods from one location to another, in terms of providing transport support for the business, we do that. And we have partners CFAO, Toyota Ghana, Swiss Group, that we offer fantastic interest rates between them, ranging between 17% and 18% between these organizations. All that you need to do is to provide some equity contribution between 20 and 25%, and you'll be able to access this facility. We spread it over the repayment, and that will come in the form of a loan because it's asset financing. We spread over a period of the turnover that we believe that your business can support, but most often we don't do beyond 5 years. We do a maximum of 5 years for that. Let me move on to the next product, that is trade finance support facilities that we give. I'm sure we all agree that there comes time that we do import or export some of the activities and some of our product to our customers. We sometimes our customers often import, but we believe that it is time that we also support customers that also do export. And the export here, we provide pre-export finance facilities for customers who have to go into the production and the manufacturing, and then provide the needed support for them to be able to get it exported to the customers that have dealing with them. What we do is that we provide advisory support for you to make sure that the product that is going meet the expectation, and also make sure that you also get your payment. So in most instances, we provide support for you to guide you in such a way that the people who are buying from you out of this country provide letters of credit, guarantees, and others that will be able to make sure that you, whenever the goods leave, you also get your payment coming in. And so also we have some of our customers who also do importation, and when they do import the product, they need support from the bank. We provide support for them, and what we expect is that you should have been in operation for a minimum of 2 years. We look at the turnover, we look at the product that you are doing, we look at the impact of the product that you are doing, you are importing, the production or the usage of it on the environment that we find ourselves in. We don't do it 100% because we expect that you must also provide some equity in the importation of it, so that somebody doesn't wake up, he's into production and then distribution of, say, a particular hair product. Then he decides that he wants to go into any skin product. And then the customer does have not done the needed feasibility studies. He doesn't know what it's going to bring, and therefore we bring the goods and then we struggle. So what we do is that we also expect that you also put your skin in the game by providing some minimum contribution on that. Now, in most instances, when goods arrive, because sometimes we struggle in terms of the collateral arrangement that I spoke about earlier on, what we do is that we provide the support for you by putting the stock that you have imported in a warehouse with a collateral manager appointed in such a way that as and when you need, it is given to you and payment is also made to the bank. A tripartite agreement is executed so that the warehouse or the collateral managers know what they are supposed to do and what we are supposed to do. We provide guarantees for customers who have won contracts like performance bond, advance payment guarantee, retention guarantee, and others for customers who have won all kinds of contracts and they need to prove big securities and others that they need to prove that they will be able to do that. And that we also expect that the customer should have had a track record of being in operations for a minimum of 2 years, proven record that they can actually execute the project that had been given to them. And in some instances, this security, for example, we're able to do it for you without taking any security from you. But when it comes to performance bond, we expect that we should be able to have some collateral arrangement in place. No matter how strong and how weak it may be, we need to have something because we are going to guarantee your proper performance on a particular contract that you have entered into, and we need to justify and convince ourselves that you'll be able to do. There are instances that we are convinced that it's beyond reasonable that the customer will be able to do it, and we're able to do it if sometimes the product and the delivery, the contract period is a very short term. We should be able to provide the support for you using all kind of security arrangements such as counter indemnity, joint and several guarantee when it's a limited liability company, and to make sure that the directors are jointly held liable for the security that they are providing. And that doesn't mean that the directors will have to tie them and put them somewhere, but they go about their normal business. But except that in case it doesn't go well, then we turn to them for the needed support. We have discounting and LPO finance facilities that we also provide. There comes moments that people win contracts and they need the support to be able to do it. Customers get contract and they need support to do it. And we have some blue chip companies in this country that when they give a contract to you, it's as good as money provided you're able to deliver. What the bank does is that we provide the support for you to make sure that if you cannot produce it yourself and you need to source it, we provide the funding for you to be able to source it. If you are producing it yourself, we provide the funding for you so that you're able to produce it. And then you get it delivered to them. What we normally do is that we expect the contract awarding agency or institution to also give us a letter of undertaking, assignment of receivable, ensuring that the payment, once it is delivered, the payment will come to us. In most instances, this is what we do to support the local businesses in such a way that they're able to take advantage in some of the booming opportunities that comes up in all the local content opportunities that the government is promoting and projecting. But we expect that it should be able to provide some equity contribution of up to 20% when we are doing an LPO contract financing. When it comes to discounting, obviously you have already worked and you are expecting your contract employer to pay you, but you cannot wait for the contract employer to pay you. So what the bank comes in is that we look at who that contract employer is. We assess their ability to be able to do that. We have lists of them already that as soon as it comes, you know, but assuming that the contract employer, whoever awarded the contract to you is not one of them, then immediately we need to find a way of profiling them and make sure that they are one of them. If they are, we are able to do that immediately. We go through the process and we're able to give you a value up to 70% of whatever you have done already, to make sure that you're able to go back and then inject that into your business. Whilst we wait patiently for the customer or the contract employer to pay, and then we are able to pay the facility off. In all these things, we are talking about interest rate of Ghana reference rate plus a margin of between 8 and 10, depending on the risk, the delay that we're expecting, and how long the facility will also have to run. One of the critical areas that we believe that it's important for us to look at is advisory services. There have been so many instances that we engage customers that they tell you, I need a loan. When you sit down with them, it is advisory service that they need and advisory support that they need to be able to change it. We've engaged a customer who wanted a loan to import a particular thing. And look at it, what the customer needed actually was a letter of credit for the supplier to bring the goods down, sell and pay and transfer the money to pay the supplier. And in this instance, it was a deferred LC that we were talking about. Once we were able to put that in place, what we did is that we saved the customer from the payment of an interest during the life of the facility. What it means is that whilst if it had been a normal loan, the customer would have been paying an interest on the loan. In the letter of credit situation, the customer is not paying any interest on the loan and that on the facility. And that means that you are saving the business from paying an interest to the bank while still being able to source the product that they need to be able to sell. We provide, our relationship officers also provide a key support for them by visiting customers regularly. Here we have an arrangement that a customer that is a borrowing customer must be visited at least once every month by the relationship management team, just to make sure that we see what the business is doing. We make ourselves available to the business in terms of providing advisory support to them. We have all the chain available to them, a relationship manager, a branch manager, a regional manager. It comes all the way to our sales coordinators, head of retail, and all the people go all the way to our MD level, depending on the business and the size of the portfolio that we are looking at. Provide advisory support for the customers just to make sure that they are able to grow the business. Effective business management, and here we are talking about monitoring. Our interest is supposed to provide the support for the business so that business can grow. And normally what I say is that it's only when the business is surviving that the bank wants so you also do. If the business is not surviving, then we are in difficulty. Now, we lend to you and we follow up on a daily basis to make sure that whatever turnover covenant that we've agreed on it on a weekly basis is being achieved. Before we took a decision to lend to you, how often were you visiting the bank in terms of your deposit? Was it a daily basis? Was it a weekly basis? What was the average weekly deposit that we're getting from you? Now that we have taken the lending decision, what is happening? Are you doing the daily deposit? Are you doing the weekly deposit that we agreed on? If you are not doing it, it means there's something going wrong and immediately we need to jump in. It is when we jump in early enough that if we are able to provide remedial measures to make sure that the account doesn't go bad and put stress on everybody involved in the relationship, including the business owners and the bank itself. We have recently partnered the business resource centers of the Ministry of Trade and Industries. They have about currently they have about 65 of them located in the part of this country. We just have some. We have some in the central region. We have some in the western region. And what we have done is that we partner them to make sure that we provide and prepare businesses that need support from the bank, and then they present them to us. So what do you need? You need a cash flow. What do you need? You need a business plan. What do you need? You need to organize your business in terms of advisory services. They help you to prepare all these in such a way that they make you a bankable, that the bank should be able to provide support for you. So we partner them. And in some locations that we've selected so far, when you visit these locations, you should be able to get them to refer you to Bank of Africa, prepare you and refer you to Bank of Africa. And then when you come here, we pick you up and make sure that we nurture the business to the level that we should be able to provide the support for you. In all these things, one of the key things that is very important for us as a bank is the environment that we find ourselves in. And therefore, the environmental and social impact of the financing that we are doing is something that we do. What are we financing? Are we financing an activity that means that you have to cut down trees? Then we know that if you are cutting trees, what plan do you have in place to make sure that we replace them? Are we doing financing an activity that means that you are polluting the environment? What do we see? What support can we provide for you that in such a way that you can reduce the pollution while still being in business? We look at that in taking a lending decision. Where we see that you are not ready and we to go through the process, we are very careful about the environment and what we are all doing to it. We will take the appropriate decision at that point. I will end here and I will hope that there will be some questions for me and my team here to address, and we'll pick it up from there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alex, and your team from BOA, Bank of Africa. We thank you also for joining us, and we thank you for such also comprehensive presentation. So there isn't any question in the chat box, so please, if you have any question from your side to our colleagues from BOA, kindly unmute yourself and then ask your question directly. If any question also comes in, I would also address it to you. So we are all waiting. If there's any point of clarification from what we've heard from Alex.
Please, can I ask my question?
Please go ahead, Sylvester.
Yes. Please, how long do you need to save with the bank and before you, because maybe I was doing something, I just joined. You save with the bank before you can access assuming all things being equal, that we meet all the criteria, how long do you need to save before you can get access to loan facility?
Thank you.
Okay, so I indicated that you should have been in operation for 2 years. The operations in 2 years does not mean
we are more than 2 years.
Yes. So once you are in operations for more than 2 years, and you can prove to us that you've been in operations for 2 years, that is the minimum qualification that we have. You don't need to bank with us for 1 year, 2 years, 6 months, 3 months before we grant you a facility. We rely on the your activity with other banks also. We respect that to take the decision. So you don't need to have operated with us for any minimum of period before we lend to you.
So if we need a good cash for export, we can come.
You can come to us. Once you are already in that business, you can come to us. And let me just expand on that. Because we have presence in the West African neighboring countries, we know that the AFTA program is very key for us. As a bank, we are participating in that seriously by making available our network in those locations in such a way that we link customers in Ghana to other customers of our BOE subsidiaries in the neighboring countries in such a way that they're able to export to them. And what we do is that Bank of Africa in those locations provide letter of credit for them that we are able to discount immediately to give them value. So you are exporting your product to somebody in Ivory Coast. You wouldn't need to wait for the person to sell before they pay you. Bank of Africa, Ivory Coast will provide a guarantee based on which we will discount and give you the money here. And immediately it improve on your cash flow. And that is something, opportunity that we believe that we can take advantage of also.
Well, thank you very much, Alex. Any question, Hannah? Any question from any quarters? We are about to end the session.
Yeah, please, I have a question. If I have 2 questions. Yeah, and the first one, I didn't hear of any interest rate. So that's my first question. The second one is, granted that all documentations are right already and ready, what would be the turnaround time for the loan facility to be accessed? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Faustina. Alex and your team, please.
Okay, so let me pick that one, Charles. Interest rate, I indicated that we charge Ghana reference rate plus a margin of 8 to 10. And that means that we are talking about an interest rate of between 21 to 22.5%, 23.5%. So that is what the interest rate that we are referring to. And then, and depending on the risk, that determine either you get the 21 or 22 or 23.5. Then I also indicated that you are asking a question about the turnaround time. I can assure you that in Bank of Africa, our SME product that we do is offer letter, everything inclusive. So you don't need to do back and forth that you presented the document, come back, now offer letter is ready, come and sign. No, everything is in there. So once they come to head office, it doesn't come back again. And most often our turnaround time, once all documents are provided, is maximum. We expect that within the maximum of 2 weeks, we should be able to turn around in the application that comes to us.
All right, thank you very much. It's been an exciting morning. We've had 3 renowned financial institutions, Fidelity, ABSA, and Bank of Africa, sharing their prospects and what they have to offer SMEs to us. For us, with WACOMP, I think it's been such a brilliant opportunity. As I indicated earlier, this is not going to be the very last. It's the one amongst many that we should expect within the year. Please, if you have, as of now, not populated your name in the chat box, as we are about ending, kindly do so. We would compile the list, we'll share with both all the 3 banks, and then they will get in touch with you. Kwame and my other colleagues, Joseph Yeboah for Kasaba, experts, Joseph, Frank, and Na Atre would also be following up with the SMEs, and will be following up with you. On behalf of all the team, the WACOMP team, we want to thank you so much for coming. Before we draw the curtain to a very final closure, let me just ask our colleagues from BOA to give us their final closing remarks. Then I come to Audrey also for her final remarks. And then last but not the least, our sister Frida, also from Fidelity. And then I'll draw the session to a final close. So Alex, you have the floor first. Alex, BOA.
Okay, Charles, yes. Charles, thank you so much for you. Thank you, you and your team for the opportunity.
Alex, kindly hold on for a minute. We don't want to, whilst Alex is also giving the remarks, I've seen that a number of colleagues also joined midway. We want the world to know. These days they say it's Twitter, it's Facebook, it's LinkedIn. Let people know what you do in secret. The world must know. This is one of the very best of events that is happening. So kindly turn on your cameras. If you wouldn't mind, we'll take screenshots and we'll share. And you can follow us and then see that. So whilst Alex is talking and all the other people are talking, kindly turn on your cameras. Yes, I see the cameras coming on. So Alex, yes, you know, it's nice you turn it on. Now I can see you, I can relate when I meet you in the streets. Okay, go ahead, Alex.
Okay, Charles, thank you so much for the opportunity, you and your team for the opportunity that you've given to us, and then industry, my colleagues from Fidelity, and for giving to us to present and to see the support that we can give to your members. What I want to say is that banking is a relationship, and relationship thrives on trust, and therefore let's open up anytime we are having a dealing with us, so that whatever the difficulty it is, when we all know, we are able to find a solution to it. If you go to a medical doctor, you go and see your doctor and you tell your doctor that you feel like you have malaria, and the doctor decides not to do a proper diagnosis and give you Coartem. Maybe it is something else that you need. Coartem may not solve your problem for you. So please, when you engage, let's be open, let's be sincere, let's trust ourselves so that we can do the right diagnosis and make sure that the product that we are giving to you is what actually meets expectations, so that we don't give you SSF when maybe you actually need a SME support facility, a loan or overdraft, when in actual fact you need actually a contract financing facility. When it happens like that, it will not work. It brings headache to all of us and it stress all of us. We are available, our doors are open, we are available, and we are always ready to provide the needed support for you. And thank you so much. And I hope we hear and we see more of the members making their way to some of our branches and our network, so that we can provide the needed support. Thank you.
Thank you. Absa. Before Absa, I have...
Okay, Charles, thank you very much once again for the opportunity. What I would say is, on top of what our colleague from Bank of Africa just reiterated regarding relationship. So banking is even beyond relationship. It's more of partnership. You know, so these days you hear financial institutions saying that, you know, our clients are our partners. What this means is that we want to get deeper with you. We want to connect emotionally with you. The more we get to know you, and you also open up to us, you know, it's a very confidential conversation, which you shouldn't be too worried about exposing certain information about your business to us. It helps us to understand your business, the structures, the model, the cycle. And the more we understand you, the better we are positioned to solution you. So during the poll, I noticed that about 90% haven't borrowed. I want to encourage everyone on this platform. I know that some SMEs don't like borrowing for various reasons. However, if you want to grow your business or scale up to a certain level, you would have to understand the financial system and how it operates, and then leverage it for such scale. Because yes, you would want to sell your assets to finance your business operations. You would want to leverage your internally generated proceeds, but it can get you only up to a certain level. And, you know, throughout my experience, what I have seen, the Indians, the Lebanese and the Syrians, and, you know, we see that they are doing very well in our country. And one thing that I have noticed about them is that they understand the financial system and they take advantage of it to grow their businesses. And it's about time Ghanaians, we also get to that level and play in that field. So thank you very much. This is what I have to say. Connect deeply with your relationship managers and your bankers and be open. And I believe that that relationship will benefit your business to a large extent. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Audrey. There is another question from the chat box. One of our colleagues is indicating that he believes, or he or she believes, that SMEs, you have a standard form for SMEs to fill, because when they come, I think you frighten them with long forms and long English. So please, if there are such forms, please make them SME user friendly, so that when they come, they can have these forms to fill. So that is to the financial institutions. Kindly give us forms that are friendly, user friendly. Sometimes you say write letters, long English, we are scared. So please be friendly to us. So Frida and colleagues from Fidelity, you have the floor for your last closing remarks.
Okay, thank you so much for having us. It was very good to hear from my other banking partners. And I would like to reiterate that Fidelity Bank is very focused on youth-led businesses. And in my presentation, I said that we are currently giving loans to youth-led business at an interest of 10%. We are the only bank who is taking that risk to go below the Ghana reference rate of 13.5 to give you a loan at 10%. So far as you're a young business who is looking at a way to scale up your business operations. So as I have left my contact on the platform, I'm hoping that I'll receive a lot of calls. Our application links to are very simple. They are on the Fidelity Bank Ghana website at FYEF. Immediately you go there, you would see the application link. You go ahead and apply, and we will contact you if we require any information from you. So like my other partners mentioned, banking is a relationship, and it's very important that we also get honest feedback from you on your business operations and how you would want us to work together to move the business to another level. We are looking forward to a point where these young businesses who have taken part in this training become one of the top business on the Fortune 500 company list. And that is one way that you would need to move your business to that level. You can't do everything on your own with your own funds. So come to Fidelity. We are ready for you, and we have a very competitive interest rate at 10%. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Frida. Thank you, Audrey. Thank you, Alex. It's been a wonderful session having you. On behalf of my colleagues from UNIDO WACOMP, Na Ache, Frank, Kwesi, Joseph Yeboah, Kwame, Ajekum, and my colleague Ibe, we say thank you very much for making this program a reality. I think for us, we will compile the list and we'll share the list with you. As I indicated, we would have another session. There are several sessions planned, and then the other session may be to have it individually now with the financial institutions so that we can delve deeper into other issues that will pop up. The other financial institutions already on our list that will be having another session with another 3. Already we had over 6 financial institutions. We didn't want to have a very long session. So you expect another session with the others, and then we'll come back and then go deeper into that. I like the reassuring words from our colleagues. What I take home today is that banking is a relationship. And we all know good relationship means being truthful and being open to everything. So I like the closing remarks from all 3 financial institutions, from Audrey, Alex, and Frida. They say, let's have a good working relationship, because without us, they will not be there. And then I also like the word closing also from Audrey, that we can also grow beyond the Lebanese competition, beyond the Syrians, beyond the Indians we see here, so that in the next generation, the Ghanaian companies would also be occupying and producing and also taking advantage of opportunities in AFTA. As I indicated, this is West Africa Competitiveness Program. We have 3 core value chains we support: cassava and its derivatives, cosmetics, fruits, and then we also give all support in terms of quality, in terms of finance, and in terms of market access to all these three value chains. So you can contact us. And this afternoon, I mean, this program was recorded. It will be uploaded on our website. I shared it, I put it in the link. It's wacompghana.org. Then you go under trainings, under webinar, you would find the recording will be uploaded. So you can download it and listen to it. And then if you have any other issue, you can follow up. So on behalf of the team, we say thank you very much. And we believe and we hope that beyond today would have such unique sessions again. Looking forward that our businesses will grow. For our colleagues who join us from all the way, I know from Bulgaria, from all across the country, we say thank you. By the magic of virtual meeting platforms, we managed to put this together. So Sylvester in Bulgaria, have a nice day. And to all colleagues from elsewhere, we thank you all for joining and we connect again. Bye-bye.